Everybody's saying, Jay, will you please get caught up? I'm trying. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back once again. You know it is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. I was always thinking I might need to change my name, but I don't know. You all tell me in the comments below if I need to change the name of the channel. I really don't want to, but, somebody told me the other day, said, hey, Jay, you say JJ's PC Builds, and the thing is you're Jay. I was like, okay. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about graphics card nightmares, which I missed yesterday, but we're going to do today. And then tomorrow at 5 p.m., we're going to do a live stream on Windows 11 24H2, the update that's coming in September. And we're going to talk about Total Recall and stuff like that. Everything that's happening on Windows that's driving everybody over to Linux. So stick around for that live stream, and it will be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Pacific Standard Time, California time. So if you go by California time, then, you'll be able to get us right on time. So we're going to do it at 5 p.m., so don't miss out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump to the action screen. Graphics Card Nightmares was calling me all night, and I was like, oh my God, I was having a nightmare over this. But let's go ahead and just jump right into it and see what we got cooking for what's on Amazon. Okay, I got everything pretty much set up for you guys today. I just want to jump into it and get to the conclusion of this so that way you guys see what's going on. And from what I'm seeing today, and I forgot that big old booty cursor, and you guys know I got to work on that big old booty cursor, so if I don't have it, you guys get upset with me, I know that, so let me go ahead and just get it right in there. Look at that big booty cursor. Okay. Now, and also too, I haven't shaved my beard yet, so it's still growing in, but I do shave my head. So let me get rid of that hat. I ain't gonna need it much. Okay, let's start off with the GeForce RTX 3060 V2OC here, the Asus Dual. I have never had a problem with Asus when it comes to a graphics card, especially the Asus Dual, which I use for my PC. Mine's the RTX 4070. So, just because Asus has their issues with the RMAs and people have a couple issues with, the motherboards, it doesn't reflect onto the graphics cards. Okay. Yeah, there are some graphics cards like the 4090 catching fire, and stuff like that. But understand this. When that 12 volt high power connector was never designed for the 4090. It was designed for like a 4080 because of the power draw. It was never designed for the 4090. And now hearing that they're going to use that same connector over there for the 50 series, it makes me wonder if I really want to get a 50 series. But in time, we'll tell. So let's move on. But this 3060, 12 gigabyte GDDR6, graphics card for $300 is not a bad deal. And usually the baseline when it comes to entry-level graphics card now these days is going at $300. So, and when they come out with the new generation, then you're going to be looking at like the entry level is going to be like moving up to like $400. So every generation you're moving up like $100 to get an entry level card. I know y'all are going to argue with me about that, and the thing is this is the way I'm seeing the trend. Especially with inflation and stuff here in the United States, this is just the way it is. Now, with these third-party cards that they get from China, I'm really not going to say too much about those, is because those cards are second-hand cards put on a brand new PCB. The GPU die is used, but they put it onto a brand new PCB. I don't recommend that because there could be a lot of problems. You can get malware and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm really not recommending it. But it seems like Amazon's pushing the 3060 12 gigabyte, because this is pretty much all you see is the 3060 12 gigabyte. And they might have like the 4070 Ti Super in there for 850. That's a little pricey for me. My price range I like to stay at is in between the $300 range and the $600 range. Anything beyond that, because you got your basic entry level and you got your mid-level cards starting at 600. So I like to keep it right there on the baselines. I know some people would like to get, graphics cards for like less than $300, like $200 graphics cards. But to get the better ones now these days, you're not really going to find it. If you do, you're going to find them used. And they've been neglected and everything else when they're used. So this is the reason why I try to stay into the new realm, is for this specific reason. Is because when you get a card brand new, you're getting something that's unused, something that is fresh, ready to go, that the processor hasn't been hammered on, or any of the other components inside that graphics card on that PCB. It's fresh. It's ready to go. So that's more or less like a plug and play thing. But moving on down the road, they got the 6650 XT for $220. That really hasn't changed. That's stagnant price, and it's still staying at stagnant prices. But people are looking at, what's going to happen with the new generation when it moves up in software architecture. What's going to happen? They're going to make newer games to that software architecture, and you decide you want to get an older GPU just to save on price. It's going to cost you more, because you're not going to be able. They're going to make it to the point where they have the architecture on the games change with the generations, and it's almost getting to that point. So they got a 7600 XT, 16 gigabytes of VRAM for $330. It's not too bad, but still, it's $30 more than the 3060, but it gives you more VRAM. Okay, so you go from 12 gigabytes to 16, you get four more gigabytes of VRAM for $30 more. What are you going to do? What are you going to buy? You're going to buy a 3060, or are you going to buy a 7600 XT? The prices are all, when it comes to performance, then you just look for the performance charts to see where the 3060 lies compared to the 7600 XT. Which one gives you the better performance? So if you get better performance with the 7600 XT for 4 more gigabytes of VRAM for $30 more, and you get like a 10 to 15% uplift with the 7600 XT, you're going to be buying the 7600 XT for that uplift for $30. If you get 10% more on a $30, uplift, it costs you $30 more for this one, and you get a 10% uplift, then you're going to be buying the 7600 XT. Moving on down the road, they got the 3050, which I think is a joke card, but it's 6 gigabytes of VRAM, overclocked, $180. Why would you do that? 6600 would probably be right in the same category with the 3050, but you get 8 gigabytes of VRAM instead of 6. So 4060 Ti 8 gigabytes for $389. 8 gigabytes. People are starting to steer away from the 8 gigabyte cards. I'm telling you, it's, like the 4060 OC here, the ROG Strix. People think this card is a joke, but it still does entry level gaming. Even though that, you can play older games with this and still have a great time playing games. It's just the AAA games, you'll have a little bit of tough time with. But let me tell you this: if you turn down your settings a little bit and you balance everything out between your CPU and GPU, that 4060 will do you just fine. It will. It'll do you just great. So moving on down the road, another 3060. Wow. And on Steam, they put the 3060 as the number one used card for right now, compared to the GTX 1650. So that's in second place. As far as the last time I looked, that's the way it was rolling. Now, moving on, they got, if you want a white edition, they got a $300 white edition. That looks like a pretty cool card, but Depends on what you want. I like the blacked out version myself. I do. I like the blacked out version myself. Um, Another 3060. Oh, that slipped in there. Yeah, this is what I wanted to tell you all too. I know this is about graphics card nightmares, but the thing is this. The Thermalright Aqua Elite 360 V3 water cooling system is 56 bucks. Thermalright's got some great deals going on right now on AIO coolers. Make sure you guys check it out. And I'm saying that specifically, check it out. Especially if you're paying half price for a 360 mil AIO cooler that, you know, was tested and it keeps pretty good cool temperatures. I'm not saying to buy it. I'm just saying when I get that 56 bucks, that's what I'm going to be buying next myself. So if I'm going to buy it myself, then, you know, that gives you a good indication that, you know, I know something. There's something about it that I know. So, also too, I made a kind of a mistake when it comes to when I got the Deep Cool, the 240 millimeter AIO cooler. I didn't look close enough at the Ryzen 7 5700X specs. I should have gotten a 280 millimeter or greater. So that's going to be a little bit of a game changer. I'm thinking about going with the Thermalright. Not unless Deepcool gets into my email and says, hey, we want to send you a 360. We got one for you that'll keep your processor cool. That'd be even more cool. So moving on down the road. The 5500, okay, that's 8 gigabytes for 140 bucks. Okay. But that's only 8 lanes. It's only PCIe 4.0 X8. It's got one 8-pin connector on it. To be honest with you, the 5500, I've heard a couple people using them and still having good gaming experience with them. So, and that'll bring me to tell you we're going over there to Newegg now. Okay, let's see what's cooking on Newegg. And the reason why I stopped myself from telling you something was because I would have gotten blasted if, well, you know what? I'm going to tell you anyway, even if I get blasted about it. Okay, 7900 XT for $700. Plus, I got a $10 off promo code. So it's $690. Not too bad. Okay, 4080, 16 gigabytes, 3 fans, white, 256-bit bus. Wow, expensive. 4070 Ti Super, expensive. 4060, expensive. Because you can get a 4060 cheaper than $499 over at Amazon. Okay, 7900 XTX. Price went up. They were sitting around $799, $800. Now they're up to $1,000 again. So price is going up. 4090, around $2,000 now. 4070, $559, $560. Yeah, it's cheaper than its MSRP at $599. So yeah, it's not too bad. That's the card I run, but mine's 2 fans and not 3. So 4070 Ti Super for $780, too pricey. Oh, 7900 XTX, almost $1,500. And that's a Yeston Radeon. Oh my God. $2,000 for a 4090. 7900 GRE, 16 gigabyte, $539, $540. Not too bad. Okay, ASRock Challenger, not too bad. And plus you get a $10 off promo code, limited offer. So that makes that $530? Not too bad. $530 for a 7900 GRE. That's close to the, getting up in numbers close to around where the 7900 XT is. So truthfully, for rasterization and all that, but you're not going to get great ray tracing, but you will get great rasterization and gameplay. Yeah, for 530 bucks, yeah, I can see that even over the 7800 XT. So, yeah, I can see that. Let's see. No, that's way too low. 7900. Look at 7900 XT. See, the problem is this is 16 gigabytes, and this is 20 gigabytes. So basically, what, $100 and some more? You get 4 more gigabytes? Makes no sense. Makes no sense, guys. 4080 Super. Look at this. 4080 Super, 16 gigabytes. They want $1,150. They gotta be sick. Or you can get a refurbished Dell. It's got an i5, 3.6 gigahertz, 32 gigs of DDR4, 1 terabyte, GT1030. A good little small little sleeper build, you know, for $257. 7900 XT, still too pricey for me. Well, actually, no. $690. That's only $90. That's only $90 more than the RTX 4070. So, in actuality, that's not a bad deal after all. This is not a bad deal after all, guys. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Yeah. Look at that, man. And it's got 20 gigabytes of VRAM, too. Wow. I'm pausing for the moment because I am thinking about this card. This card I am thinking about. Oh. But, you can't beat that for $690. You really can't. That is a steal right there. But the only bad part about this card that I'm starting to see, it doesn't say anything about overclocking it. It might be overclockable, don't get me wrong. It might be an overclockable source in the AMD Adrenalin software, so, or you can test it out and see if it's really worth your time. 6750 GRE. That's a card that's came around that was sold to China, the Golden Rabbit edition. But it seems that it made its way over here to the United States. So it's got 10 gigabytes of GDR6. Looks like $310. Would I recommend that card to you all? No. Is it okay for games? Yeah, it's okay for games. But AAA games, not so much. So, but it is a good gaming card. But it's just, there's a certain line that when it comes to the 6000 series, that there's only 2 cards that I feel that are the best of the best of the best, the creme of the creme, is the 6800 XT and the 6950 XT. Those are the only 2 cards that I consider the creme of the creme. Any other of the cards, I really don't, with the 6000 series. $200 for a Silver Eagle. Let's see. Moving on down the road, guys. We got to keep it moving because we only got a certain amount of time. We don't want to waste all you guys' time on, sitting on Newegg and finding out that the prices are just, astronomical. They got a 4070 Super, 12 gigabytes for $600. And like I said, You got the 7900 GRE for cheaper, and for $90 more, you got the 7900 XT that has 20 gigabytes of VRAM. And this is the 4070 Super, and the 7900 XT is a little bit faster than the 4070 Super. So think about that before you decide to buy, truthfully. So if you're looking to spend $700, then, and you're not doing content creating, it's nothing but gaming, then yeah, the 7900 XT will be the card for you. Will be the card for you. But if you're looking to do content creating and stuff like that, 7900 XT is not bad for content creating. So, am I recommending AMD? Well, I'm either recommending AMD or NVIDIA. Like I told you, I'm recommending the hardware. I'm not recommending the companies. I'm recommending the hardware to you. I want to make a point clear with everybody. Okay, this is the point I'm going to make clear with you. When it comes to graphics cards, I tell you about the hardware. I'm not telling you about the company that's making it. Okay? Now, you know the backgrounds on the companies that make these cards. And you see the stats on the performance of these cards. When you go and you look all over the internet, they give you the stats of these cards. You can get the benchmark performance of these cards. This is one of the reasons why I'm not benchmarking too much, is because there's so many benchmarks out there. If I go to add mine in, it wouldn't make sense to you. I'll benchmark once in a while if I feel the card is warranted to be benchmarked. But we will have to work in time getting up to the benchmarking thing. That's because y'all need to subscribe in order for us to put out more cool content. So let's get back to it. All right, let's go ahead and go over to Micro Center, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Micro Center has two spots. See where it says availability? They have two spots. One that says items available to ship, and the other one says see all, the amount items at Micro Center. So you got in-store items when it comes to GPUs, and you got items to ship as well. So I show you the items to ship, and they got a 4070 Super for $640. This is stuff that they will ship to your door. Okay, you got 4060 Aero for $325. You got a 4070 Super for $610. You can make your choice between which one you want. Now the Dual Evo, that looks like a pretty cool card for a Super, but it's only $10 more than MSRP. That probably just includes their shipping and whatever else they got to do, the people that are packing it, to send it to your door. So that $10, come on. And the only thing you got to pay on that extra is probably the taxes, if they add taxes to it. So let's see, 7900 GRE. Right here, Red Devil, overclocked, 16 gigabytes. $599, $600 compared to $610. So you got 12 gigabyte compared to 16 gigabytes. This would be the card that I would go for first. 7600 XT, still the same price as Amazon. 4070 Super Pro Art. Just because they attach Pro Art to the name, they think they can sell it for more. Hey, that's up to them. That's their bag of tricks. 47. I don't like the XLR8s. I'm not a fan of it. 8 gigabytes, no. Low profile, they got the low profile one. If you got a PC that's low profile, small form factor, they got this one right here. It's got 6 gigabytes of VRAM for $190, so it'll fit into your system. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because you can, fit a 6 gigabyte card into your older system and, gives you a better advantage. 7800 XT Hellhound. You can get it cheaper on Amazon. 4060 Ti Eagle, 8 gigabytes, $400. No. Pro W64 single fan. No. W7600. No. 7900 GRE Tough. $600. Not too bad. Pro Art. No. See, you got to remember, you got workstation cards and you got you got your gaming graphics cards. So $459, you got a 7700 XT. No. Okay, let's go back to the top. Nothing to see here. Let's go look in store and see what they got. 4070 Super, 600. Yeah, that's MSRP. See see the 4070 and the 4070 Super. 4070 started out like this. They kept it at MSRP for a long time. 6 to 8 months. They kept it at MSRP for a long time. And then they started slowly dropping the price. Now, with some of your 4070 Supers, they're doing the same thing again. So they're still getting the same price. So that's how they make their money, is when they keep the price nice and steady. So I know I'm bypassing the ones that are in the 1,000 range, is because a lot of people don't want to spend $1,000 on a graphics card. Not especially when you can make a whole computer for $1,200. It makes no sense to spend $1,000 on a graphics card. It really doesn't. Not when you can invest. You can buy a decent graphics card and invest more into your CPU and your motherboard to give you a better gaming advantage. And your RAM, the speed of your RAM. I mean, you could take that extra money and invest it into like your RAM and stuff like that. Look, I got the RTX 4070 for $600. So I put myself on a $1,500 budget. So what I did was I invested, instead of getting 16 gigabytes of system RAM, I got 64 gigs of system RAM. Instead of me getting, a high knocker price motherboard, I got me a good medium level B550 motherboard. It's a Strix, it's Asus, and I got me the Ryzen 7 5700X, knowing that I can go up to the 5800X 3D or the 59 or the 5950X. Or I can just save my money a couple more dollars and go up to the AM5 series when I see the AM5 series balance out to being normal, like the AM4 series. So I'm waiting to go up to that AM5 series, and I'm holding on to my AM4 motherboard and processor. It still runs just as good, even better than your AM5 right now. Everybody's like, oh yeah, but you get the 7800X 3D. Yeah, you do got the 7800X 3D, and yeah, it plays great in games, but it does nothing for creator work. Get it? You need a little bit of both. And it's only got, 8 cores, 16 threads? That's it. So does my 5700X. The only difference between the two is, 42 megs or something like that of L3 cache? That's the only difference between the two. Yeah, it's a newer platform. Yeah, it's an upgrade to the newer platform. Yeah, I understand that. But it's an investment I'd rather not take because of the new generations that are going to be coming out sooner or later. So I'd rather hold on to my money and wait for that next gen, so I know what kind of motherboard to buy and get me a next gen processor. I'm kind of jumping generations, basically. So even if I jump generations, going from like the 7000 series up to the 8000 or the 9000 series, I guess I'm jumping two gen. Because if you go by the thousands, then, you'd be like 2 generations. But moving on down the road. Moving on down the road. I can tell you right now, Micro Center's got great deals on some of their parts. You just got to look. And if you do go to Micro Center, first thing you do is look and see what they have for open box. I know they get a lot of returns on open boxes, so people don't like to hold on to something, for a long period of time. They use it and then they send it back. They say there's a problem with it, and there's no problem with it. It's the same song and dance. So $549. I still think that what was it? Amazon or Newegg had a better deal for the GRE. Not too bad. Not too bad. 489, 490, and this is, you pick your poison on when it comes to what graphics card you want to buy from what company. You pick your poison. So that's basically what I do. Is I pick my poison to see which one's going to be the best of the best, and try to get myself up to at least a mid-level card and not kill myself on the price. Understand that. I get close to a mid-level card and not kill myself on the price. So if I was going to get another graphics card, it would be probably the 7900 GRE, or, yeah, pretty much. Or that I can take and spend that extra $100 and go to a 7900 XT. I could do either or. If I want to go AMD, on the AMD side, everybody's talking about, go to the 7900 XT, it's going to be better. Well, I want y'all to understand something. If I go to the 7900 XT now, what happens if NVIDIA comes out with a 5070 that blows that 7900 XT away for the same price? Think about it. So, until I see the next generation come out, I'm sitting still. But if you need a graphics card right away, then buy something that will get you where you're going, but you're not going to kill yourself on the price. Let's say you just want it for, older games and stuff, and you can get yourself for a $200 card for older games. If you want to do that route, or if you want to just do the older games, then, you can spend between $100 and $150. So if you're spending any kind of money and you still got a decent graphics card in your PC and everything else, and you can still game and everything else, then sit tight. Don't buy right now. Save your money. Save your money for when the next gen comes out, which is pretty soon. The next gen's going to start coming out pretty soon. And then you'll see that, oh my God, I'm glad I waited. And you saved your money. So, all right. Let's go ahead and go back to the main screen and give you my final thought. I've only seen like one or two cards this week on Graphics Card Nightmares that wasn't a nightmare. I think it was on Newegg that they had a good deal on the 7900 XT for $90 more than the 4070 Super. That was a good deal. The 7900 GRE, that's another good deal. But everything else I considered just being a nightmare because it's sitting stagnant. It's not moving in price. But if the prices are starting to climb, like I seen on the 4090, the prices are climbing on the 4090s, the 4080s, the 4080 Super. You see the prices starting to climb on those. So that's telling me that, if you didn't get into the stock MSRP, that the prices ain't going to come down anytime soon. Especially when AMD's not making any more high-end graphics cards. They're only making mid-level entry cards and low-end cards. People are going to get sick and tired of buying those cards. You guys are going to get sick and tired of buying those mid-level to low-entry cards that when you go to play AAA games, that 50% of them, I'm just saying, 50% of them are not going to be able to keep up with the games. And you're going to get all pissed and everything else because you thought, I thought that card was just the bomb. It was going to keep up, but obviously it doesn't. So Don't shoot yourself in the foot. And I'm saying this straight up to y'all. Don't shoot yourself in the foot buying a graphics card. Do your homework. Research, research, research. Benchmarks. What you've seen so far on the market right now. Don't buy a graphics card unless you see some kind of benchmarks on it. You don't see, and this is, if you don't have the card and you can't benchmark it, then, take 10 reviews. See all the benchmarks on 10 reviews. Compile them together, all into one, and then you're going to get your answer. If it's worth it or not. That's how I compile things now these days, because I can't get my hands on the product. So I wait for the benchmarks like you all. I do basically like you do, the consumer. I wait for the benchmarks. I see what's on the market. I see what new comes out. They all get benchmarked. I see all the benchmarks. I compile them all into one to where, I got an average that gives me an idea if this is going to be good or bad. Gives me a little bit of a performance to price kind of thing as well. So, truthfully, I can tell you this generation's not been the greatest. Hasn't been bad, but it's not the greatest neither. Price to performance wise, it just hasn't been totally there. So, let's hope the next generation's going to be better than this generation, because a lot of people are kind of got their ear to the floor waiting to see if that's going to happen. So, but we're not going to keep this video going on and on and on. I told you about the nightmares. I told you about the good parts. I told you for many of videos that if it's the hardware is good or the software is good, I'm going to tell you. If the hardware is bad or the software is bad, I'm going to tell you. So either way, I'm going to tell you. So, alrighty. If this is your first time watching a video, or you want to help support the channel, JJ's PC Builds, then please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, put a positive like on it, on all the videos that you watch. That helps support the channel too. The more videos you watch of this channel, puts more watch time hours on. And also too, don't forget that notification bell. That way you'll know when I post the next video. But until the next time, and the next video. And don't forget about Saturday. I mean, not Saturday. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Live. It's going to be coming at you. We're going to talk about Windows 11. 24H2. This recall crap. I'll make sure I post a notice to y'all to let you know ahead of time. So, but we will see you on the next live stream.